Hello and welcome to Jazzy's Funky Views. And today I'm going to talk about, should there be a class system in modern Britain? In a previous video, I think it was the high and low functioning autism one, I talked about the importance of categorisation, but for organisational purposes, not for segregational purposes. I believe it helps simplify things so that people can understand, and especially people in government, to understand where people fit in society. I think it is important. However, I think the class system isn't the way to do it. When you talk about, you've got your upper classes, middle, working, and then lower. This is basically what I would describe as how it used to be anyway. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, but I'll explain that later. What I would say is the upper classes were your aristocracy, your royalty, your people that were really, really high up on the social order. And then you got middle, which was like people who have enough money to survive, to do well, and be able to have a decent life. And then you had your working, and then your lower classes or under classes, whatever they used to call them. Those people were like, well, your working was you living almost from hand to mouth. You just go to work so that you can survive. You had the money and that. The underclasses were the people that used to go to like your old workhouses and so on. The upper classes always looked down on the lower classes or working class or whatever. Middle sort, I don't know what they used to think of middle class people. Probably still look down on them a bit, but not as much as maybe the working class people. But it's again, it is about categorisation for segregating the people that are lower down and making them feel they're not worth much, really, and they're useless, but they're just there or whatever. That's I think how it used to look that way. And the people who were classed as upper ones were upstanding, very grand, were always caring and good people. As we all know, that isn't always the case. I'm not saying every rich person is wrong, or not a good person, but I would say a lot of them are. They want their money and they want to keep their money, and they don't want to be giving it to people that they see as lower down and not very nice. And they will do anything they can to screw us out of whatever we need. I'm not saying everybody. There are some generous rich people out there, but But as I say, you don't know. It's not hard and fast, so you can't really go there. What I would say is the categorisation for it, for the way people are in terms of their monetary position, it should be categorised different. It should be categorised in a different way for governments to be able to make decisions over what is fair to everyone or to everyone. It is not my job, and I am not coming on here telling the government what they should decide to do. That's their decision. Where I put my X when it comes to the voting, I'm not discussing on here. Basically, I just feel that it's important that the way things are categorised should be correct for the people to in government, well, not just in government, maybe government departments and things like that. They need to categorise things in such a way so that it's just more understanding and more simple to to work out like who the people with more money should be taxed more and so on, and the people with less money or whatever. And also as well, you think about like the people with disabilities and other, categorising them for their need as opposed to trying to categorise whether they've got like rather than just saying like high or low functioning autism or something, making it too wide ranging. There needs to be more categorisation towards how their disability absolutely affects them. That could mean doing more market researching and whatever to find out how people are, but and what needs they have. But so people understand it. The way I look at it right now, I believe the system is a bit of a mishmash of class versus circumstances, other circumstances in their life. But I don't think there's enough emphasis on the other circumstances. So what I would say, if you looked at just not looking at people's bank accounts and being completely nosy on people, at the end of the day, look at what they have declared, what earnings they have, what, and just what earnings they get, any extra savings, and so on and so on, what's already been declared for tax purposes and everything. Not to just search everybody and start snooping, because at the end of the day, there has to be an element of trust somewhere, into how much money people have. If there is evidence that they have, that they may well be, like dodging the HMRC or whatever, and then that's a different matter. But if you've got like you've got all the information there, if you just categorise it to seeing where people's needs are, and then you make a decision as a government as to how much then that would be good. But I just think that not enough emphasis at the moment is on other circumstances. It's sort of a mixture of both. Aristocrats could well be they own big houses, but they might not be very well off. They might they may have to rent it out, for people to have a look around and stuff like that, for them to just make ends meet. It might not be that they might not be as well off as you might think. They own the house, these big houses, but they have to upkeep those houses, and they've got to make money to be able to do that. So it's a obviously the really up to do aristocrats will have plenty of money and money coming in from other things or whatever, and that might be great, but not all. So it's again, you have to sort of measure it differently, and things, and then work out from that. That's just what I feel needs to be done. But in terms of my politics, I'm not going to say to the government what I believe they should be doing, with the information. I just think it needs to be looked at differently for so that they can make more decisions in for the benefit of everyone, or at least for the benefit of the people that need it. Okay, that's Jazzy's funky views of the day. See you later.